It's locked.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt,
Name's Albert. Remember...
What happened?
Hey! I didn't do it!
All right.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no...
It's true. I'm not familiar with this.
I said sod off.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy
Never heard of her.
Goodbye, young...
The wet boots will be proud of me. I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. It's not me. Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lappy.
Stealing drugs from the sick and suffering. What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened?
I'm Dr. Reid, and I'd like to ask you a few questions.
No. Look, I'm not a violent...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy...
Funny, I've been searching for her too.
Really? And why...
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary.
What can you tell me about this?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live.
You don't have anyone...
Not since the death of my wife.
You mean you used...
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and
Perhaps...
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pit.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure...
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that...
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. A coward. Put me in a...
It's a pity that doctors still practice such...
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit.
What is it, Ben?
The doctors...
It's a pity...
Now only...
A gun? How are you?
I'm not your boy.
Goodbye, young man.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lappy.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening.
Actually...
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help...
Oh, really?
Ah, my brother has spoken...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
I don't like to talk about
Competition, you...
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some...
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say... Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid, or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my...
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody
I'd like to see what kind of medicine.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to. I will return later.
strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned. I cannot enter.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reid.
Doctor?
Have you heard of a nurse?
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really is a nurse, then?
Yes, she...
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this...
I see.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war?
Violence is increasing?
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me.
Where did this happen?
In the closed workshops near...
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like...
Right then. Show me what you have.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few...
Another journalist?
I'm not a journalist.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really?
I'm Joe Peterson to say.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live...
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tried...
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town.
Not familiar with this now.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally.
May I ask what you...
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice.
I don't care what you think, sir.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your...
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here?
May I ask?
I'll do whatever...
Goodbye, Mr. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reid, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me, then? Okay, then. Come on in. I'm a Harry, by the way. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Suffering in this world.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick.
How do you feel? Speaking of which...
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I...
How do you...
I'm fine. My father...
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living...
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first...
You have a roof over your head?
That's exactly what my father says.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so.
So that's why you stay at home all day?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reid. It's the living.
Do you need any medical?
Yes, I do.
I will see you. Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an...
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped...
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Doc.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. People wouldn't be worried.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Goodbye, young man.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Fancy buying some?
You never lose your... Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a...
What can you tell me about Mr.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer. Good one, even. But after it...
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But
And no one has ever stood up to this.
nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost...
Do you need help, sir?
I only need you.
Goodbye for now.
You again?
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad...
You could leave tomorrow.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regret?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Have you heard of a nurse?
Dorothy Crane.
Could you please...
She's a nice...
Goodbye, Mr.
Don't be shy, handsome. What?
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
All right, then.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy?
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came...
You seem to respect.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals.
Considering your line of work,
If it is going to happen, it will happen.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me?
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me?
I have no interest in your work.
Short story. The war, exile, and England.
I'm sure you could have...
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job?
Goodbye, miss.
You look so pale, my lord. Would you like me to revive you?
Imprisoned by your daily routine. Unable to see the true horror around you.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize.
I am Dr.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy?
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work?
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fibre.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you?
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you?
All science.
Quite a
But you are...
I am. But the answers I seek are big. Have you any friend?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Don't you fear?
I've been touched by God's grace. I am perfectly healthy.
Do you know...
I don't like the liberal...
I have heard enough for tonight.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reid.
Dr. Reid, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority...
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. And in...
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth?
Whitechapel is the crucible of...
That's quite honorable.
Not at all, sir. And that's...
Have you any idea of the danger you face?
I've had to run and hide more than...
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Have you any...
I've had to...
I'm convinced...
Really?
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital...
Ah! Could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby.
I don't know much about the man.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel.
He never goes...
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
touched by grace.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel...
If some misfortune...
Well, you, for a start.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not...
I don't care. I don't have many friends.
What are your thoughts?
Terrible, you say?
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy.
Peaceful. That's quite...
Most people fail to understand.
May I ask what you're doing?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying...
But are you not afraid?
Oh, why should I?
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic...
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the secret...
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek in...
The place is not beautiful per se, but...
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and...
Vivid, of course.
Oh, yes? The poignant...
Do you not think it...
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much.
Perhaps you're just afraid to...
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me.
And have you ever tried to learn...
Maybe I prefer she remain...
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane.
Dorothy Crane. Oh,
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let...
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Good evening, miss. I know what you're thinking. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispenser. A stubborn and mute comrade. I know you understand what I'm saying. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. Very well. Hello again, Liz. Camellia, I know you very well. The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in. Hello again. Very well. Good evening, Chris.
Change your...
Goodbye. Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So,
I'm not bothered.
Goodbye, young.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
You again?
Goodbye. Mr. Petrescu, just one...
You again.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right.
Don't you see we're on the same side?
I'm nothing like you.
Yes, you are.
I have to admit your word.
It's locked.
If you want to talk to Dora...
We've not been formed.
I am Darius.
So Dorothy's real name...
Like myself and many people in this area.
She seems important.
More than you...
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm on...
Who is she, really?
She's not from around here, that's all, but...
You say she has no clothes?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man, for sure, but...
Are you not worried?
She is as brave as she is tough.
Are you in love with Camellia?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we...
Do you have any family?
Who knows?
Don't be embarrassed, sir.
It's quite awkward.
This war...
No. I have taught strength and...
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungary.
It is not the country I fought for.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about it.
You mean occupied Romania?
Really? Then perhaps you have more...
Goodbye, Mr.
Hear my voice. I need help! He's going into convulsions, Doctor!
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor. We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could? Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by...
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
You're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy? This is an unfitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reid. You shouldn't be here. Razvan was getting better with the treatment. I don't understand. So, what's to be done now, Doctor? I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy? This is an unfitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reid. You shouldn't be here. Razvan was getting better with the treatment. I don't understand. So, what's to be done now, Doctor? I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy? This is an unfitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reid. You shouldn't be here. Razvan was getting better with the treatment. I don't understand. So, what's to be done now, Doctor? I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy? This is an unfitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reid. You shouldn't be here. Razvan was getting better with the treatment. I don't understand. So, what's to be done now, Doctor? I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reid?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable...
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke. So, the end justifies the means. Is that your...
I know you're kind, Doctor.
But why Lady Ash...
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, Are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right.
This one stinks already.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reid. Yes?
Goodbye.
Good evening.
Goodbye. I have this thirst for blood. I cannot enter.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Goodbye.
You again?
Goodbye. Good evening, Harry.
Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So?
I'm not bothered. Death is so cold. I hoped it would be more meaningful.
You're late. Where's my money?
I know it's hard to believe,
You again?
but this district has always been wretched. And let your guard down, sir.
Why is your relationship...
Harry and I are so different.
Why not change that, then?
How dare you tell me what I should have...
You're a bad father who's scared...
I don't think I like your attitude, sir.
I'd like to see you try, Colossus Joe.
Never. Harry's...
Goodbye.
I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been wretched.
Good evening.
It's far.
I have heard it. Good evening.
And good evening to...
Did you know the mute florist?
No, I didn't. But I thank...
Are you not?
That girl has not an ounce...
I fear you are a
Guilty as...
I'll leave you... Hello again. Tell me, Camellia. I know you want... Very well.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Goodbye. Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy! Crush the leech, boys! Die, vermin! Filthy fucking beast!